Around 2012, I get a call from a senior cop and says there's this gang. They're extorting a whole lot of people in the southwest of Sydney, Parramatta particularly. And I was actually given a list of the businesses. Everywhere I went, these people were scared.
I lived at the time at Parramatta, and I spent a lot of my time around Church Street in Parramatta, and I came out of my hairdresser's one day and I looked across the road and there was a group of about 8 guys standing across the road, but what intrigued me was they were wearing black t-shirts, similar to what a bikie might wear, a set of colours. On it were BFL, and I could see on the back there was 2 crossed guns, and there were some attempts being made to extort businesses, but some of the shop owners were saying, well, we're already being extorted by the Hells Angels, so, who are you?
And that's when the name Brothers for Life surfaces.
The notorious Brothers for Life gang.
Brothers for Life.
Brothers for Life.
He called himself a brother for life, but it was a life short-lived.
I've been shot at a lot of times. Cars have been sprayed, the house has been sprayed. I've seen mums get shot, dads get shot, kids get shot. It's a mess.
Brothers for Life started with the arrest of Bassam Hamzy way back in 1998.
Bassam Hamzy is Australia's most notorious inmate. He first popped onto the scene in the late 1990s when he killed a man on Oxford Street in Paddington in the heart of Sydney City. In the aftermath of that shooting, he took off overseas and he went to America. And eventually police were able to get him back and charge him and put him before the courts, and that's when he was convicted.
He was in Lithgow Jail. It's a maximum security prison, and one of my young people came to me and just said, oh, we've got some telephone intercepts happening on other criminals, and said, oh, I think it's Bass Hamzy calling, and he's calling regular and calling the shots. We actually got some video out of the prison cells and that phone attached to a string, and he was on that phone from sun up to sundown. He was orchestrating a whole lot of criminal activities through that phone within the jail, and it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of phone calls a day, to the extent that he complained about the heat being emanated from the phone in his ear, and he was directing traffic right throughout the criminal group.
So after finding his jail phone, police begin to investigate Bassam further, and soon enough they discover he's been sending letters from inside prison to his relatives on the outside, including his brother Majid. And in those letters he makes the first reference to Brothers for Life, or as he calls it, BFL. And he signs off those letters by saying, not bound by blood, but bound by Allah. Fight one, fight us all. And so Brothers for Life is born, with their first chapter based out of Bankstown. While Bassam Hamzy controls things from prison, operations on the street are overseen by his brother, Bassam Hamzy, who changed his name from Hamzy to his mother's maiden name, and his cousin, Mohammed Hamzy, better known as Little Crazy. Beneath them are a number of foot soldiers, including plenty of cousins and associates. But it's really Little Crazy that's controlling things on the streets.
In broad daylight and without warning, it's alleged up to 10 bullets were fired into a parked car on a quiet suburban street.
Moz, this is the Daily Telegraph from October 15, 2012, the day after Yahya Ahmed was shot dead in Greenacre. And this is the moment, isn't it, that Mohammed Hamzy, Little Crazy, really bursts onto the scene for everybody outside the underworld.
That's right, there's a body laying in the street. Little Crazy's name's being bandied about. 2 days earlier, someone's insulted his wife. That's a no-no in the underworld. And he responds, as you would with the name Little Crazy. He goes looking for people with a gun. He eventually gets convicted of manslaughter after initially being charged with murder.
Yeah, and the last paragraph of this story I found really interesting. It says, there have been dozens of shootings in Western Sydney since January, with many said to involve gangs fighting over drugs and territory. We'd known Brothers for Life for their involvement in drug running and whatnot, but this moment here is when they make headlines for just pure violence.
That's right, and Mohammed Hamzy is the cousin of Bassam Hamzy in jail, direct link. Bassam has got the shits with certain members of his family who he believes are no longer following his orders, falling by the wayside to the wanton ways of the Western world. Farhad Kwame, an Afghan, had been in jail with Bassam Hamzy and became very, very close. He's given orders to go out, start up a new chapter, which is basically against Bassam's cousins.
Bassam felt he might have been losing some control of the, if we call it the Bankstown group of the Brothers for Life. So I think, in a way, anointed Farhad to carry on his messaging and appointed him as his commander-in-chief, for want of a better word, but to operate in a different area from, say, Parramatta to Blacktown.
So now we had Bankstown and Blacktown, and that's being controlled by Farhad Kwame. And beneath him are two of his brothers, Mumtaz and Jamil, and assisting them in their endeavours are a number of other associates, predominantly of an Afghani background. And Brothers for Life looked to be this absolutely dominant force.
A man has turned up to hospital this afternoon with a single gunshot wound to his leg, but he's refusing to answer any police questions.
A gangland-style killing and a body dumped on a Bankstown street.
Shootings like this are becoming all too common in Sydney's western suburbs.
After 2 years of back and forth shootings, and young men are being killed, but no one's connected them in any way, a woman is shot through the front door of her house in March, I think, 2013. Who would shoot a woman at the front door? And it turns out it's a lady called Bassam Hamzy. And then from March on, 2013, all hell broke loose.
There's been another shooting in Sydney's west.
That's the fourth in 3 days.
7th drive-by shooting in the city.
That takes the tally to 12 in just 3 weeks.
It was an internal dispute. The Blacktown chapter is fighting the Bankstown chapter.
The gang call themselves Brothers for Life. They act more like brothers for a day.
There was shooting, relentless. I remember covering 2 murders in one day. The police commissioner didn't want to talk because there were so many shootings. No one wanted to be seen as the face of it, particularly any senior police.
The cousin of one of Australia's most notorious prisoners has been executed in a shootout in Sydney's southwest.
Then there was the shooting of Bassam Hamzy in Greenacre. Now that was supposed to be a shot on Little Crazy, his cousin.
Yeah, a bit of fireworks went off. Someone got hit with the fireworks.
Did you know the person who was shot?
No, I don't know.
There was a meeting on the afternoon of the 28th of October 2013 where information was passed on to Farhad Kwame that Little Crazy, Bassam Hamzy, intended to try and kill him. So Farhad Kwame then put together his team of people that went out searching for Bassam Hamzy before he was able to get Farhad Kwame.
Under police guard, the 25-year-old wouldn't make it to hospital.
So in effect what took place that night was a white Nissan Tita drove into the street. 3 got out of the car at the end of the street and walked straight up to the garage at 28 Bardo Circuit. Bassam Hamzy, Little Crazy, was in the garage at the time with his cousin Mahmood Hamzy, another associate, Omar Ajaj, and Bassam Hamzy's girlfriend. They were all in the garage when these 3 gunmen walked in, all wearing balaclavas, and just started shooting. Unfortunately, they started shooting at Mahmood Hamzy, believing that he was Bassam Hamzy. They all run out of the garage then and jumped back into the Nissan Tita and drove off out of the street. I remember meeting with Mahmood's family, his mother and father, and just feeling so incredibly sorry for them. They were incredibly decent people. Mahmood Hamzy was totally innocent. Mahmood Hamzy had never been involved in crime at all. He simply was the cousin of Bassam Hamzy and was there visiting him in Bardo Circuit that night.
Guys, what can you tell us about what happened here overnight? Fireworks.
Pretty serious fireworks.
New Year's Eve came early.
It's just utterly insensitive. His cousin's been murdered and he feels it's a light matter.
Still, I remember so vividly is the Mustang, and the number plate is MEOX. Now at the time there was the Middle Eastern Organised Crime Squad. This stood for Middle Eastern Organised Crims. This was the Hamzys and Brothers for Life saying, we are Crims, here's our number plate, we're going to go you. It's decided that there is going to be a mass operation. Just round them all up, just lock them up.
New South Wales Police have, over the last 24 hours, made significant strides in the battle against Brothers for Life, and we've made some significant arrests. If you're still a member of Brothers for Life after the last 24 hours, there will be no rest, no respite, and no let up from the police.
The same day these massive raids have gone on, 3 men are shot at the Chocolata Cafe at Bankstown. They're not dead, but they were members of the Brothers for Life Bankstown chapter, and it's supposedly over trying to find out where Kwame is.
There was also someone else attempting to influence or use the Brothers for Life Blacktown chapter to do their bidding.
She was a female that was very closely linked to Bassam Hamzy and then passed a lot of information on from Bassam Hamzy to other Brothers for Life members on the outside, predominantly Fahad Kwame.
It's hard to get your head around just how violent those times were and how many shootings were carried out in that period. Fred Nagy is a relative of the Hamzy family and a former Brothers for Life member. While he was never accused of killing anyone in that time, he remembers the violence well. But over the past decade, he's left the gang and turned his life around. And now he wants to spread the message to the next generation of would-be gangsters, that a life in the underworld isn't everything it's cracked up to be.
It was just started off like innocent, you know. I thought it was just hanging out with the boys, wanting to belong to a crew. I just loved the brotherhood, and tops got made and started wearing it.
And obviously when, you know, I sit here talking to you and looking at you, you've got tattoos over large portions of your arm.
Yeah.
The Meok tattoo seems to be typically Brothers for Life. Was it a bit of fun, poking fun back at the cops?
Yeah, just stirring them up. Growing up in Punchbowl, you had to learn how to fight. You had to have boys that'll back you up. You had to be known and respected and feared, but you can't put 2 roosters in the one cage. So there's always tension. You think it's all cars, women, watches, clubs. It's not always glitz and glamours, you know. Things always turn ugly. It's a dark life, man. It's not something that you want to get involved in, especially from a young age, because you can do something that can put you away for 25 years, or you can do something that can put your family in a big drama and a big mess. And you know, some people, you might be locked up, you might be sweet, no one can get to you, but some people want collateral damage. They might go for one of your family members. People need to understand that it's not what it seems. And I'm going to keep spreading that message, and I'm going to keep at it.
When did you realise what you had been caught up in?
The last time I got shot was in 2012, and then my father-in-law passed away in 2012 in October or November. And you know, my missus said, "Look, man, like, you need to wake up, Fred, you know." Like, I would get death threats, I'd have anxiety issues, I'd have sleepless nights, fear for my life, fear what I'm going to do to someone else if I bump into them because of what they've done to me. You lose yourself, and you can lose your family. And then boys were getting like killed, you know, a lot of boys got shot, passed away. I buried them with my own hands. Yeah, there was dark moments. So it's not a life to glorify, you know.
From a jail cell, Bassam Hamzy was able to grow and control one of the biggest crime syndicates Australia has ever seen. But this feud weakened them. Didn't end them, but it weakened them and made them vulnerable. New Year's Day 2014, 11:30 at night, luxury yacht pulls up here at Rose Bay, full of gangsters. One of them, Farhad Kwame, the head of the Brothers for Life Blacktown chapter. As he's getting off, a gunman's over there in the bushes who lets spray with 18 shots, hitting him in the shoulder,
shattering the vessel's windows and peppering the hull.
2013 was a year of ridiculous shootings, and it ends with this massive attempt on Farhad Kwame. But things were going to get a lot worse for him a little more than a week later.
Police believe the man arrested yesterday is a key figure in the conflict.
During the trial, there were a number of things that happened.
This is one of the biggest untold scandals I think I've ever heard of.
And it's the first time we've actually seen murder on TV.